Assalamu alaikum. Very glad to have you all today in our session. So, very glad to have you, as I said, today in our third session of the Omani Female Geoscientist Recognition Series as part of the Geological Society of Oman project for the female geologists. This is the third session today, where the aim of these sessions is to have the Oman female geologists with us in our platforms of the GSO in order to recognize and celebrate some of those Omani female geologists that have practiced and implement and shared their knowledge in different working years they had, and also to share their experiences, their success, and their learnings through their years, as well as to have a platform of interaction between those experienced Omani female geologists with the other Omani female geologists in the same area or in the same industry, especially the youngsters in the industry who needs a sort of an advice. So today, with our special guest, Dr. Nadia Al Abri, who owns 27 years of experience working in petroleum development Oman. So welcome, Dr. Nadia. It's our pleasure to have you with us today.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be here with you today, and it's really nice and great to have this initiative from the GSO. I think we all need to support each other and push each other to the highest levels. So yeah, thank you very much for hosting me.
Thank you, Dr. Nadia. So during this session, we will go through the successful journey of you, Dr. Nadia, and through a series of questions. And please feel free to elaborate on those questions or to add to them. As you know, this session is actually to empower and to motivate the Omani female geologists to continue giving this great country we have, with a great paradise of geology, as they call it. So the first question is, was the geology major your choice, or there is a hint, or just you found yourself directed into that direction?
Right. Okay. So yeah, geology was my destiny, I have to say. I think I was when I finished my secondary school, I really just had one vision in my mind that I wanted to work for PTO and go for a scholarship abroad. And at the time, I knew nothing about geology or geophysics or whatsoever. I only knew that PTO was in the business of oil and gas production. So I took my papers, I went there and I submitted them. And I got lucky, I got an interview with the guy from the courses directorate, and in the meantime, he was looking at my my marks and percentages, and he saw that I got a very high score in physics and in geography. Yeah, as it goes, and he just said, "Well, I think you are going to be suitable for a geophysicist," and he put me down for that. And actually, for me, I was just so ecstatic that I got a scholarship. I didn't really, think twice about accepting the geophysics specialization. And of course, as I said, I didn't know anything about it. But I think at the time I was ready to just, do anything and work on anything because I was so excited about it. And nothing seemed difficult at the time. I just thought, okay, I can do anything, no worries. So just bring it on. And off I was going to my studies abroad. And that's how it all started. So no, in simplest forms, I didn't really choose geophysics. It just came to me.
Okay, so that's impressive. It leads us to the next question, which we want you to elaborate on your studies, the bachelor and the MSc and the PhD, the 3 great degrees you have. Tell us, and how did you go from? You said your studies was in geophysicist, and planetary physics, and then you went to petroleum and geoscience. So that seems interesting. Just tell us more about it.
It is actually an interesting, very interesting story even to myself. So I went off to Harrogate to do my A-levels first after a short 3 months period of English. And then, so I did my IELTS, I went to do my A-levels. And when I finished, I went to University of Newcastle upon Tyne, where it was, the title of the course there was Geophysics and Planetary Physics. So yeah, it was quite hard at the beginning. We didn't do any geology before getting to the university, and but I loved, I loved the outdoor activities. I loved hiking. So geology in the first year of school the university came in very natural. I loved the outdoor field trips. I loved the cold weather, very different from Oman. So yeah, I enjoyed every bit of the geology course there. But my major was geophysics. So I went on into finishing my course in geophysics, and I graduated from my BSc with an honors, with first class honors, and I came back to PDO very happy with my results, and they were very proud of me, and I got to work straight away for a few months. And at the time, actually, they had a very, very nice program for the newly graduates. It was called an IP program, which is the introductory program for the special ones, for all the students that are coming back. And it consisted in doing short projects in different departments. And I joined the exploration department at the beginning. So at the time, I went through 3 months courses for about a year, where we did different, things. I started with an evaluation team where I did a project of 3 months. And then I went into, I remember, processing. The famous Al Hajar, I don't know if some people are recalling that 2D processing of Al Hajar line. And then we went to the lab to do sedimentological, descriptions of cuttings and actually looking at the actual geology of Oman. And then I finished with 3 months again with qualitative interpretation in the department down there. And I was really happy that I got all that spectrum to see where I really, where I liked it best and everything. And by the time I finished the year, my supervisors were very happy. I got really good feedback, and I was offered to do a master's. Again, because I was already assigned as a geophysicist, I was given a master's in geoscience in Aberdeen University. So off I was again to UK, and I did a year in geoscience. And then I came back to PDO again, where I worked for about 6 months on a project for qualitative interpretation again, since I'm assigned as a geophysicist. I did very well there again, and my supervisor was very happy, and they were very encouraging, very supportive, and they actually said, would you like to go for a PhD? And for me at that time, it was really, great opportunity, and I really wanted to, get to the qualification for it. So everything was, nice and rosy for me. So off I went on a project that was actually a geophysics project. It was gravity and electromagnetic waves project. So I really didn't think much about the project. My nature was that if whatever comes, I will just face it, and I'll do whatever I can. I'll do my best. So I took that topic and I went to the UK. It was in Edinburgh, actually. I didn't want to go back to Aberdeen. It was too cold there. So I chose Edinburgh. It was really nice. The place was nice. I liked it. So I started my project there. But after I started, we had all issues with the actual data, and they couldn't find the right data for the set. Things didn't went as I was, expecting, or what PDO wanted. So we thought, okay, what can we do? And I started talking and communicating with PDO, and I told them about the issues, and I asked them if I can, do a different project. They were at the beginning not so happy about it, because they really wanted me to do a geophysics PhD. But I went on and I started the course anyway, while I'm waiting for their approval, as you can say. And the system in Edinburgh University was that you would do a 3 months establishment period, which meant is that you would work on the project that you wanted, and you would submit a report where you highlighted the main things and what you're going to gain from the project and everything. And coincidentally, at the time, I had a professor that had work in the North Sea, mainly as an evaluation project. So I took that on because I really liked evaluation anyway. And I did my 3 months establishment on it rather than just wait for PDO to give me the go ahead and or come back. I just thought, okay, I'll utilize my time. And after the establishment, after it flied with high colors in the university, and they all were happy with it, I took the report back to PDO, and I went to meet the managers there. And at the time, it was the exploration manager was a guy called Bruce Lovell. And he took my report, so I went face-to-face meeting with him, and he took the report and he looked, and he was glancing through it, and then he looked at me and he said, "Did you write this?" And I said, "Yes, I did that in 3 months." I said, "Yeah, in 3 months." And then he was really happy with me, to my satisfaction. He was really happy, and he said, "Well, I do want you to come to work in the evaluation teams then." So. And that's how it actually changed from geophysics to geology. And he said, "Yes, do please go ahead and finish your project, and we are happy to support it." And I got the support, and I went off to finish the geology part of it. And it was mainly geology. It was interpretation and on the Penguin and Magnus fields in the UK, North Sea. And when I came back, I joined the exploration evaluation teams. And from on there, it was mainly a geology path. And as I said, I always enjoyed the field trips, and it was really, I knew quite a bit now about the geology of Oman, and I loved it so much because it was just so much to actually endure and take on. It's just magnificent, the geology of Oman. Yeah. So yeah,
truly amazing.
Yes,
it's really amazing.
Almost unbelievable.
Yes,
but
yeah.
if you aim for something and you work for it, things will get better for you, and you'll get support that you need. And I always believe that.
Yeah, it's so obvious once you said you want to do your project in something different than geophysics. I mean, I think it's good if you can emphasize more on how can youngsters say their opinion or what they really want. So that will derive basically on a better results than just doing what they are doing. True.
Yeah, no. I think it's really with PDO. I think we have an advantage that we can say what we want, and we can, as long as you have respect and you are taking everything into consideration, you're showing the benefit of it. You are given the chance to to pursue your dreams and such. And I believe that there is numerous examples on that in my career path, that whenever I had an issue, I would actually go and talk to my supervisors. I would show them that I'm willing to do this and this, because this is what I want and this is how I want to pursue it. And it works very well at the end. So I think for me, being honest, being hard work is always paying off to change, perspectives for people and showing them that you can achieve what you want.
True. Very nice, actually. I love how the journey went, but I think I'm quite sure that there are some challenges you faced during these years and during going from one stage or one phase to another. So maybe you can name some of those challenges or the top challenges, how you came over them.
Right. If I look back at my time, I think the biggest challenges I had was how to prove yourself when you are back. So you've done your studies and everything, and people are supporting you. But if you remember, at the time when I came back was in 2003, things were still not very, how would say, easy for the Omanis. So we had to fight really hard to show that we are capable, we have the skills, we have the ability to do the work just like anybody else, and building that self-confidence and being able to actually speak honestly about what you think and how to pursue things, and challenging people that are much senior, they're expatriates. The thinking is that they are more knowledgeable, and how to prove yourself was probably the thing that I faced as a challenge to myself. But I have to admit that all along the way, my team leads, the superiors, there are a lot of numerous Omani guys who are supporting us quite a bit and giving you all the mentorship and the advice that you need in order for you to succeed. And whenever I had an issue, I always wanted to talk to them, and that helped me a lot. I mean, I can say my godfather in exploration was a guy called Muhammad Al-Harthi, and he really looked after me, in more than one way, in terms of, giving me the right advice, telling me what I should be doing. People like John Michel Larocque, who was my supervisor, also my team lead when I first arrived, gave me quite a boost in my self-confidence. The people that I was working on. So one side, you have all that doubt on how to build your self-esteem and everything. And on the other hand, you have these great people who are actually really supporting you and, pushing you forward and telling you that you can do and more than what you think.
Wow,
yeah.
I think that takes us to the concept of mentor. So did you have a mentor at that time, or at least at your first years?
Not as an assigned mentor, but you had someone who you were assigned to help you with the project that you were given, because since you were just starting a project, so there would be a person in the team or a colleague from the team that would actually help you with how to get things done and everything. So that, yes. But as I said, for me, I was not afraid to go and ask people for their help, whether that is technical help or, on the soft issues or anything that I needed. I was fortunate enough to have really great people around me to actually just, go and talk on friendly chats, and they would be, happy to help me and provide some advice and on how to go through things. So yeah, definitely not an assigned mentor as such, but everybody was willing to give you, mentorship if you are having an issue, or if you take the time to go and ask. Definitely, there was always someone to help.
Very nice. So back to the challenges, and based on the challenges you mentioned, and everyone has their own challenges, even in the first years especially. We will go to taking some of the audience opinions on a question related to the challenges through a Mentimeter.
Yeah.
So, dear attendees, please use the code to enter the Mentimeter, please. We'll have one nice question and we want to hear from you. I'm sharing the screen now of the question. So here is our first question. Okay, it's coming on the way. So just write briefly on what was the top challenge you faced in your first years of working experience, like first up to 5 years. I mean, what sort of challenges you have faced? Any of technical challenges or soft skills challenges, hard bosses, and this kind of challenges? What we want to see a variety of answers. We'll discuss it with Dr. Aisha. So, Dr. Aisha, if you want to elaborate a little bit more, if you wish, until we get the answers, please feel free to do so.
Right, so on the challenges, you mean? I assume you're asking me, because you said Dr. Aisha, but I think you meant me.
Yeah, here comes some of the answers. Maybe we can discuss them.
There is no correct answer, huh?
No correct answer. Just, it's a group of answers. So there's what's saying here, being confident to present new outcomes.
Right, okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can relate to that. I mean, if whenever you're doing a study or something or a project and you come to some conclusions that don't fit the general trend, it's always difficult to actually be confident to present them. But I mean, that's a nice one to, if you tap into the different people that are around you and cross-check the results and discuss them with the people who are pioneering that that area. If it's geology, go to talk to the regional geologists, get the confidence from actual data and actual facts. So you do have your data, but how does it compare and why is it different and the rest of it? So work technically on it in terms of those kind of things before you present them, and never shy back in presenting anything new, because you might think it's actually incorrect or not what the trend is, but there could be someone who is thinking the same thing, but they're just not, they don't have the data that you have, or they are not willing to share things because they are afraid of the same thing. So for me, I would cross-check quite a bit, and then, just go and present it. And as they say, face the music as it comes. So what if it's new outcomes? Yeah, they could be the new information that everybody is going to be relying on from now on. Yeah.
True. The second point,
to meet at common ground. Yeah, I mean, you can always, with team leaders, you're either on his inner circle or you are his outer circle. Sometimes, if you know those terms, so either you're getting along with him very well, and therefore it's really easy. Even if you're not meeting on the same ground, you can always still talk to him freely and tell him your opinion about things and discuss things and why you feel that way and how you can actually go forward from there. And there are, of course, the team leaders that you don't get well with. And in those cases, then you need to really be just work on the common ground again. Find where you can get to him from the things that he enjoys, he values, or the things that he thinks are important. Always tackle it from there. At least that's what I used to do. If I didn't get along with the team leader, then I would always keep it simple, but at the same time try to win him in any case, because at the end of the day, there is a lot that goes for you from his side, and he can actually make your life much more difficult or much more relaxed if you were to just get along with him. So always try to get the common ground, even if they're personal things. So if it's not technical, maybe something personal, a hobby that he likes or something like that. So at the end of the day, just remember that he's also trying to do his job the best way he knows. It might be, it might not be the way that you would rather he did it, but at the end of the day, he is trying his best as well. And that goes for both sides, the employee and the team leader. So always try to just make it work one way or another. I don't know if I'm answering you. I don't know whether can they give us.
It's clear. It clarifies. So I think that's the two we had from the mentee, but we are having some on the comments, which seems an interesting question. Both comments goes to the same challenge. It says, "Is there any challenges regarding the gender aspect you faced? How did you deal with them? Any advice to women?"
No, I think if anything, it was positively towards towards women. At least for my. I mean, we are favored in PDO. I think at least in PDO. I don't know about other areas, but in PDO, women are actually favored positively. I got all the support I wanted. I don't know. Maybe that because I was a lady. You could look at it from that perspective as well. So people were actually helping me because I was a lady, but at the same time, whenever we needed anything, myself and the colleagues that I had a couple of ladies with me as well. We always had the appreciation from the team lead, the help from the colleagues. So no issues at all with gender, and it was always respectful. It was always respectful. I have to say that. So I didn't face any issues with that. Of course, being a lady, a Muslim lady in field trips is always has its own issues and some difficulties. But with the understanding of the people who are actually providing for the field trip and the rest of it, we managed to sort out quite a bit. So we used to go for field trips here in in Oman, in different areas. We went for a 2-week into Namibia, myself and a colleague called Zayana, and we always had all the support from the guys. They were always helpful, and no issues at all being a woman or a lady in the workplace. Of course, you have to show also respect yourself for yourself. Okay, you have to preserve yourself and have that self-esteem yourself and look after yourself in order to propagate that to the people around you. And I think that's a very key thing to have in order to put that respect into the people who are dealing with you. So, yeah, thank God for that.
Very nice. Really precious key advices you gave, Dr. Nadia. Okay, now we'll go to that another phase you went through, which is the cross-posting in Brunei. So how did that decision came? What was the hard part working, outside of your country, in your home? And do you advise for such experience?
Yeah, cross-posting for me was, as I said, I was very lucky all the way in PDO, I have to say. And whenever I look at it, I'm always thankful for how blessed I was. So for my career, I started in exploration, and I worked in the XCM2 evaluation team at the time, which was a stringer based project that I worked on. And I drilled a couple of exploration wells, and then I got the chance to move to the production side. So I moved to outside of exploration into the production side, and I worked on the Ghafir field, if you know about it, and I proposed appraisal and production wells into that field, also a stringer well. So now I'm going from exploration to production to appraisal and production, and then I was moved from production into the study center, where I worked as a production geologist there. And meanwhile, at that time, I was doing modeling for the stringers, Budur Northeast in particular field. So if you can see, I went through the whole spectrum, which was a real blessing for my learning in my career, is that I went from exploration to appraisal and production to modeling, and also, in the study center, we used to do all sorts of reviews. You do the VARs, and at the end you get an FDP produced. So having gone through the whole process added a lot to my knowledge, to be honest, and my experience. And at the time, I was also backed up with a lot of people in the company, and a lot of times we had these like PDPs, which are personal development plans, and those were sort of, you would put your short. You'd put your short sort of, what do you call it? Your aim, what you want to establish in the short term, and also where you want to be in the long term. And in those times, I wanted to do, the full spectrum of production and exploration and production, but at the same time, I wanted to do something totally new because I was focused on basically the stringers. So part of that was that I went to talk to people like John Malcolm, which was the MD. So we were very, very lucky to do that. And we got the support. And after he had seen that I've actually worked through the whole spectrum, he was saying, yeah, you're ready for posting. And I was thinking, yeah, I'm gonna, it's really nice that I've done all this. Now I want to explore something new. And the posting was mentioned for me, and I was really happy with that because I could start a totally new play. And I went to Brunei, so I got the support and area to work on, which is the deep water. So it's a totally different setting. It's nothing to do with carbonates. It's mainly sedimentologists and depositions, and there were, deep water sediments. So technically very different from what we're doing in terms of the deposition models, in terms of the actual drilling, because there you're drilling into really actual deep water. So my well was like 3 kilometers of,
Wow.
of water before you get into the the seabed. So totally different kind of learning for me, and I was very happy to be able to. Of course, in Oman we didn't have that kind of exploration yet. We didn't have exploration in the deep waters, but it was something that would actually make me think very different. So it's not only land, but it's also sea, and you have all these kind of things that are very challenging. The risk that came with it. So these are really, very expensive wells. The high risk of it, you're drilling in something, a lot of pressure. So very high pressure fields and prospects and plays. So very different from what I was used to, which meant I would learn a lot from it, and I was happy with that choice. So off I was going there. On the other hand, we were in Oman. We were the national people. We had expatriate. So it was time for me to actually flip the coin and be the expatriate and see how people feel about us as well. So I go there with all my skills and everything, and I would really like working hard and everything. But how do the nationals there see me? How am I going to be able to work with them? So all those soft skills that you'll have then to employ in order to make it work for you on the other place were all very valuable for me. And yes, definitely I learned quite a bit. So you learn the culture. It's very different culture, but very nice people. I enjoyed thoroughly my time there. I cannot say how much I enjoyed it. It was really a good time. Of course, I was starting my family there as well, so it was all new stuff. But I worked very hard to prove myself. There were times when things didn't work for me, and I just had to be persistent in working hard and making it work. And at the end, I think I learned quite a bit. I had gone there with some experience, but I learned a totally different experience when I was there. And I would encourage everybody to go for a posting if they can, because it does make you think different, definitely, in how you actually pursue things and how you treat the people who are in your country as well. And it just opens up your mind to a lot of things.
This is really so interesting. I hope everyone can get the chance to go if it was a choice. So now we'll see how is our attendees seeing this. Do they want to go for a cross posting or not? Through a question.
Yes.
As they said before, you can also use the code. Here the question appears. It says, are you willing to go for cross-posting or to work outside Oman for quite a while, 2 to 3 years or so, maybe more? Let's see the answers.
No, definitely a posting if you can.
Now,
it's quite a different thing that you will be doing, especially if you're going out of your comfort zone. So don't choose something that will not add to you. Choose something totally different from what you are doing, and therefore you will be gaining a lot. If you were to go somewhere and do exactly what you were doing while you're in Oman, then you are, you're not taking the opportunity to grow and develop yourself. At least that's how I thought about it.
Really nice. Yeah. We're having 2 answers now. And yes, I feel excited. I think it's an exciting idea, actually. It's really, it gives you a set of new skills when you come back.
Yeah,
it's definitely. Really nice.
Of course, we have to think about it as well as a lady or a woman. I was blessed to go with my husband, which made a big difference, of course. However, for some ladies, that would be not possible, probably, especially if they're in a different, job or a different type of career. And yes, definitely, you will need to think about it twice. You don't want to leave your children and your husband back and go there for like 3-4 years and be lonely and missing them and all sorts of things. So it's something that you really need to think about. But take that first step and try to make things work for you. nowadays there is a lot of, communication ways, like videos and everything. You can be talking to your family a lot. They can be coming, maybe some kind of, getting halfway. They could come and stay with you for some time and then come back. Try to work it out, because I think the benefits of it are actually really great, and you will be learning a lot. It also depends on at what period of your family life you're going. When you're having really young children, might be a bit difficult. So you have to take all those factors into it. If you are having, slightly older children, maybe it's a little bit easier to leave them with with your spouse or your husband or your mother, and that will help, to support you in your posting. So you will have to think about it really deep in order for you to make it, definitely.
Really nice. I think now we're having two answers, but it goes to 100% indeed.
Yes,
it's so exciting.
Yeah, I think I convinced them, huh?
Yes.
I don't know whether
totally
it was they already had that in mind, but definitely something that is worthwhile thinking about and pursuing if everything else, all the factors are in place with your family and everything, and you already reached a place in your career that actually you will be benefiting. So you don't want to go there while you're very young and inexperienced, because it will be, you'll be just taking on too much. But once you have like 3-4 years, you're getting into a job group, 4 into 3, 3 especially, then definitely you need to broaden your experiences and learn more and get out of your comfort zone. So at that time is when I would really, recommend finding a posting if you can. So yeah, definitely all those have to be taken into account.
Very nice. Okay. And for your leading experience in video, so we want to a little bit to elaborate on that. What's your advice for the female leaders or the leaders? What's that key skill you think they should really acquire?
Right. Okay. So I am a people's person, I have to say. I like to think of myself as someone who really, I want to work with my team as a one unit. I prefer for them to be very honest with me. I usually tended to, explain at the beginning what are my values, how I want the work to be done, and get the feedback from the people also how they would like to work. What are their preferences in terms of how they tackle problems, if they have a project, what their preferences in terms of the project. So communication is key. You need to talk to your people. You need to be able to know them very well. They have to know you, what are your values, and what is it you like and you don't like. I like to make sure that I understand their hardships. What is it they find very difficult, how I can help them with, whether that is actually technical or personal, because at the end of the day you are having a human being working with you, and you need to cater for all aspects of his life. I like to think of myself as taking people to the top with me. I don't want to see myself at the top while my teammates are actually down below. No, we reach there together. So if we can, we always have to work together. I mean, especially as a lady, you might be having more issues than others. And I remember while I was working, maybe this is a good time actually. One of the things that I think is very important is how you manage your work-life balance, especially as a woman, because having a family, having kids, always makes you feel guilty about the time you're spending at the office, and whether you're managing things the right way, whether you're giving the children enough time, enough attention, are you giving them quality time? So managing your time is essential. Making sure that you know what is it as a family you want to establish and is very important in order for you to actually make your plans towards it. Actually, I remember back in what was it? Was it 2000 and maybe 5 or 2004? It could be 2004. We started actually. We pioneered in the exploration department the part-time issue that we had, because we as women thought that there are ladies, there are mothers who really need the time for their families. They wanted to work, part-time. They didn't want to work full-time. They still wanted to contribute to the company and in the country, for that matter. But they don't want to just stay all the time in the house. But at the same time, they cannot manage the long hours. So myself and 2 other colleagues, we actually started the part-time motion, and we had worked very closely with the HR department at the time until we managed to secure a way forward, that they were actually going to take into account we had a survey done. We had numerous, meetings with John Malcolm, who was the MD at the time, until he approved that, yes, part-time needs to be looked into for PDO women. And I think as long as you are a leader, you can see where your people are missing, what are they really missing in terms of their, comfortable, how their work-life balance is working, what is it that they really need, and you need to take that into account. And I hope I had done that with my teams. I definitely would say take the people's issues into your heart, and it will work. So always, take responsibility of what you're doing. Although the teams would be doing the work, but you as a team leader have the responsibility actually to take on board any mistakes that are happening. No finger pointing. I think that's very important in your leadership skills. Always be there for your team members. Listen to them. Communication and listening, and try to help as much as you can. Try to make things flexible. Times of coming in, as long as people are actually delivering, maybe you can, leave some time for them to actually do other stuff if they need to. And I think that's one of the key things. What else? I think, in leadership, communication and working as a team is key for me, and listening to the people and how you can. And of course, the one thing that is very important is that you care for their development as well. You cannot be wanting just your business goals to be met without actually taking into account what development these people are actually seeking. What is it that they think they're lacking and they would like to accomplish for themselves as well? And try to pair that with the kind of projects you're giving them, or if not now, maybe the next project. Or you have to have the dialogue with them, and to make them feel happy that, yes, I am doing something and I'm getting something in return as well. So I think that's key as well. And alhamdulillah, in PDO, I think a lot of people are doing that. I, for one, had a lot of encouragement from people and from my supervisors that tell me where your development areas, so that we can see what project we can give you. So that helped me a lot as well in doing the right projects for me and for the team. But of course, at the end of the day, we have to remember it's a business. We cannot just ask for things to be done for us, for development, and leave the business to be, suffering from it. That part I am adamant about. No, the business is first, but if you can mingle it with the development of the people, and that's the important part. Yeah.
Very nice. Very precious points you have mentioned there, especially when you said that a leader should take all of the team with him or with her to the top. They all go as one team, not just as individuals. It's really impressive. Okay, now we move to the Geological Society of Oman. You've been with the GSO since its establishment years, the first years of establishment, and you were the one who came up with the GSO Al Hajar magazine, which is a great idea that's going on until today. So tell us, where did that idea came from? Tell us your journey with the GSO.
Okay, the actual idea wasn't mine, I have to say. So that actually was already in the plan when the GSO was founded. So it was founded in 2011, and they had an editor, John Shurer, but he was very busy. And when I came back from my PhD, in 2003, I was sitting in my, the team leader, Mohammed Al-Harthi again, and he just jumped from him while the now XM, the XD, Hisham Siad, was the president of the society. And he said, I know who can do the Al Hajar, who can execute it. Nadia can. And I was like, what? I had no clue what he was talking about, but he was really, very supportive in terms of pushing me that you can do it. You could start the Al Hajar. You can do that. So it was already in the plan of the society when it was founded, but it was just not implemented yet. And when I came, I thought, okay, this is something that now I have to prove that I can, since he already said I can. And we worked very hard with the different people, and we started to establish the Al Hajar at that time. So I can't get the credit of actually bringing the idea, but yes, I enjoyed very much, the work. Meeting with people, talking about different aspects of the Al Hajar itself, the name of it, how to choose it, and we had very good people who are actually having, technical support that we can use to print the printable one. And from that time, alhamdulillah, I did survive at the end. Yeah, alhamdulillah. But I think it's a good thing we started it, definitely.
It's really impressive. And so maybe you can elaborate on how GSO, or your being with the GSO as a member and as the magazine head, so how did that fall into your professional path? I mean, right. Being with the GSO.
It was really key. I cannot emphasize it enough. GSO gave me the push to do, to be really open-minded, to do a lot of things. So we had all sorts of events that we were going through. And so after I was, the first session, I was the acting editor. After that, I went to becoming the executive director of the Geological Society for the next couple of years. And at that time, we took on board so many projects. We wanted to do so many things, and we had all sorts of field trips, talks that we were conducting. We had, an event, a major event where John Grosinger, the scientist who sent a robot to Mars from NASA, if you recall, come to PDO. He was actually doing a project with PDO, but we got him to give a nice talk in the Hyatt Regency Hotel. So all that was actually building my experiences. I was standing there talking to hundreds of people, presenting to them. The presenter, the Minister of Siyaha, the tourism, actually attended our talk at the time. So we were trying to get, all sorts of projects. There was a museum that we started, a geological museum foundation that we started to think about, and we wanted to establish. Of course, we didn't manage to establish everything, but working on all those different exciting things, they build into you a lot of momentum, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of self-confidence, and it definitely worked with my career, because I was getting all that from the Geological Society, and I was putting it into my presentations for PDO. A lot of things that we were discussing. We were meeting, high caliber people. We were meeting, very important people, and we were doing all these interviews with them, talking to them about the geology of Oman, how we can expand it. So it was very, very important. And I cannot emphasize enough, how we enjoyed those field trips. We had people from everywhere coming in, and even the, people with their spouses, their children, so people were really enjoying themselves, just going outwards, even if their husband is geologist, their wife is liking hiking, and we have even small children coming, and it was really, really very enjoyable programs that the GSO was conducting. Since then and up to now, I see that people are still attending quite a bit of these talks, and so I think we should really get more of the young geoscientists to be participating in the Geological Society activities. It's one way of getting your confidence, of knowing to mingle with people, to knowing them, adding to your communication skills, adding to your network. Someone from the Geological Society can be your mentor at one point or your supervisor in another project. So building all those relations does make you, much more stronger technically and in your soft skills. And I would really encourage the guys to start that kind of thing.
Really nice. So if you allow me, we can share some of the photos and you can elaborate a little bit on them from memories of you being GSO.
Yes, nice memories, definitely.
Yeah. One second.
Yeah, that's a long time, GSO.
It was a really nice experience. I mean, anyone can get it by being with the GSO. I'm missing the photos somewhere. I don't think it's possible to show.
Okay. Yeah, so we had booths of the Geological Society in different conferences. So whenever I was sent, let's say PDO was sending me to present a paper, let's say in Qatar or Bahrain, we will still be putting the booth of the Geological Society in the days that I'm not presenting, and I would actually go and man it and talk to the people about the Geological Society, the geology of Oman, and the responses were quite overwhelming. People really liked to hear about the Geological Society, and they were commending the work we were doing. So you would get a lot of feedback on it. Okay, so this is the Hyatt Regency mission to Mars with John Grossinger, and actually the Minister of Tourism was there on the day. So This is where I was actually presenting the speaker, John Grossinger. Yeah, I can see Ghaniya is there, Hussein, I think, Lawati, some people from PDO, yeah.
That's one then, thanks.
Right.
This is one as well.
Geological booth, Geological Society booth. I think this was either Bahrain. I think it's Bahrain, yeah. So we would put posters, we would have books to sell. Would have even Ken Glennie, the father of geology of Oman, come to visit sometimes, actually. So he would actually sit with us there, and I was very fortunate to meet up with him. One of the key things that I actually, from meeting Ken Glennie, I got to write a paper with him on the geology of Oman, which was really, really, something very honored to do. The father of geology of Oman, writing a paper with him, so you definitely would be, gaining a lot. A lot of posters here. We're trying to explain to the people what we're doing, and that's our colleague Adil Kiyumi. We were trying our best to just, give the word about geology of Oman and through the posters. And we had one time we were actually giving a lecture on the geology of Oman. So we had put seats with a computer, and I was presenting to them. Very enjoyable activities. I mean, I really was having the time of my life there. So many
really
things.
Impressive. Really nice. Yes, it's very nice memory. So we really encourage, and you encourage those to be with us in the society where they can do the same activities and can build their networks.
Yes, definitely. You meet a lot. You get to meet a lot of people, different backgrounds, whether that's in the fields or in those kind of activities of manning the booth in different areas of the and we were trying to get at some point we were trying to do a geological tourism project, and that was actually flying with high colors as well. I don't know whether it got at the end, but people were really interested in the tourism, the geological tourism of Oman. So we have a lot of these ideas that we can actually implement and work on in our country. Definitely. Very enjoyable.
Nice. That's very, very interesting. That field part, I think it's the most interesting thing on being a geologist.
Yes,
to go
definitely.
to the fields and so, yes. So
tend to see a lot of things.
Yes. So we're taking some of the comments just quickly. Yusuf Al-Blushi is asking, how did cross-posting, I mean, you worked in Oman and in the cross-posting in Brunei. Can you highlight some of the differences?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that definitely was feeling is that I feel confident in Oman. I'm backed up with my own people. I can do whatever I want here and ask whatever questions without having, to think twice about it. It's okay for me to learn in Oman. When you go into cross-posting, you are the person who people are looking up to give information. You cannot just talk whatever you want. You cannot just ask whatever you want. So there you are the expatriate. You are, although you yourself want to learn, but you have to give back to the country quite a bit of the knowledge that you have. There I was mentoring 3 people. So that experience by itself was something different. So I was actually supervising them, teaching them how to do things and the rest of it. So definitely it was a different phase of my career. In Oman, I was still learning myself. I was just gaining my experiences, my skills. There, I was supposed to be giving them back to the people and teaching them and showing them how they can work out their issues, how they can do things, and so yeah, totally different aspects of my career. You are required there to be much more mature. You should be knowing more. So you wouldn't be actually just asking anything. You would probably be reading about it and educating yourself quite a bit before you actually ask yourself any question about it. So yeah, I don't know whether that's
very nice. Very nice. I think it answers the question, yes. And there is a comment from Samora. She says that there is you can deal with very nice the difficulty, challenges. There is a kind of thinking in our life, not only at work, but we have to teach the younger generations on the way on how to deal with those difficulties and challenges. There is another question from Maitha Amr. She says, hello, Auntie Nadia. What advices would you give to students studying applied geosciences in general?
Applied geoscience.
I mean, to students.
Yeah. I mean, there is, for any studies that you're doing, working hard, concentrating on your studies, making sure that you are looking at the right information, asking the right questions, asking them, because some people are actually very shy in, and this kind of things, and then pushing yourself, because studying is always difficult, whether that's in applied geoscience or anything else. These are even more, difficult than other studies. So you have to really push yourself in order for you to, get that self-esteem that I am going to do this. I can get all the help I need by just asking, work hard, ask the right questions to the right people. All those are the things that you need to just be positive, be positive, be confident of yourself. Don't think that any question is a stupid question. Anything that you have in your mind, you need to ask in order for you to learn, in order for you to develop and move forward. You will never be able to do that if you're going to, hold back and shy from asking questions and presenting yourself. Always, make sure that you know how to present your material in the right way, because that's key in getting the results that you want. If you are starting to, study, make sure that you are happy with the kind of studies you're doing. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Always be positive and aim high. I can do this. Reassure yourself.
True. So, Dr. Nadia, if you want to give a final closing remark, we were very glad to have you here today with us.
Thank you very much. I was really happy to talk to you as well. I hope I was beneficial in terms of my what I gave as answers. I have no problem with people, tapping in and asking questions anytime they want. For me, to be honest, if I would say anything, I think we as Omani ladies, we are really got very lucky. We had everything going for us. We got scholarships. We got all the chances to, work beside our brothers and men with no discrimination, with nothing. So we really need to take that advantage of that. We need to take it really proudly. And we thank our late father, Sultan Qaboos, for all that he has done for us. I always say we would not have been here if it was not for him. And we hope for the best with Sultan Haytham. And for me, I would say always aim high. Be positive. Whatever that is thrown towards you, work hard on it, do your best. Nobody's asking for more than that. All that you need is to just be confident of yourself. Treat people nicely. Always, have those soft skills always pay back. Always think of yourself as I'd like people to treat me like that. I would treat people that I would like them to treat me. So always have that kind of things that make you human in your dealings. Someone that you work now, you'll be coming across in 10 years' time again. So always live with good relations. Try to be positive. Try to be, helpful to others. Do your job well. Be proud of the quality of the work that you are presenting. This will be bearing your name always. So that is the one key thing. Am I happy with my work? Could I have done it better? What can I do else? Ask the right questions and just be positive. Just say, I can do this. And ask the people, to help you if you can't. And thank you very much for the lovely time that I spent with you guys. And I hope I answered the questions that you had.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nadia. It was an honor to have you on GSO platforms. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All the best.
Thanks.
All the best.
Thank you, Dr.